What's up, everybody? Guy here, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Quick video because I was just watching Kyle Shanahan's press conference after the uh, joint practice with the Raiders, and he told the reporters there that Ray Ray McLoud has a broken wrist, and they don't know the timetable exactly for his return, but he estimates, knowing the history of what those injuries are like, that it might be about 8 weeks, which would put Ray Ray McLeod back at the beginning of October, maybe week 4 game against the Cardinals on the road, or maybe a week 5 game against the Cowboys at home, or maybe things don't go great, week 6 against the Browns on the road, or maybe he's back early, which would be September 24th, Thursday night against the Giants. So Ray Ray McLeod is out, and I think it's significant. I've been watching a lot of practice, and I've been watching the receivers specifically and returners. So I'll tell you about what that means, or what could happen there. But it did not occur today in practice. It happened a couple days ago. I was standing next to Matt Barrows in Santa Clara when we saw Ray Ray sitting on the ground, the trainer looking at his wrist, looking at his hand, but they looked at his other hand too. So it was unclear, was there a serious injury here or not? Um, so what's the deal? Um, from a returning standpoint, especially a punt returning standpoint, it's an opportunity for Ronnie Bell. From a receiving standpoint, it's an opportunity, I think, for Ronnie Bell and for Danny Gray. Ray Ray has obviously been a very good returner for the Niners. And I think he's been more impactful on offense than his 14 carries last year would indicate. So somebody's going to have to step up. I have watched Kyle Juszczyk catch a lot of punts, and I heard Shanahan say it. Juice is actually really good at it. I shouldn't say he's actually really good at it. Juice is good at it. Juice is good at it. But this is kind of Ronnie Bell's wheelhouse. And for a guy who's been battling for that 6th receiver spot, this is a big opportunity for Ronnie Bell. And I think what this injury means is a big opportunity for Ronnie and for Danny. Danny Gray has, and I said a week ago, Danny Gray needs more opportunities in these practices other than just deep balls. Throw him some intermediate routes. They've thrown him some intermediate routes. They ran an end around with Danny Gray in practice. Not the first time that happened. Actually, they ran an end around with Danny Gray last year in the Raider game, and it got 8 yards. I mean, 7, 8 yards. He got pushed out of bounds. If he'd been able to turn that last defender, then, who knows? Obviously, his speed, in theory, plays well in the return game. But it's a big hole. Now, Danny Gray has been a little inconsistent, I think, when it's come to catching the ball in practice. I think he's gotten better. He practices hard. He does a lot of the things you want to see. But it seems to me like he's put a lot of pressure on himself. Maybe this in some way relieves a little pressure because it might mean more reps for him. Ray Ray McLeod is a pretty productive practice player for the 49ers. He catches a lot of balls. He shows up a lot. And so, maybe for Danny, if it means more reps, it means not putting so much pressure on every rep. I told you guys the story about a week ago of a practice in which Danny Gray had twice been frustrated, screamed, kind of, like one of those, because he thought maybe he was open, didn't get the ball. And later in that practice, he caught a quick out. And the 49ers starters on the sideline right there, Debo, Ayuk, Juice, who were not part of that play, kind of gave him a round of applause, like cheered for him, because I think they probably understand, like, he's trying to make some plays. Ronnie Bell, more so in drills, but definitely in team period a little bit too, has stood out to a lot of people. And I think it's primarily because of what he's done in drills, because he catches the ball. He's made really nice catches. I had the photo that I posted on Instagram, you could see, of a one-handed Ronnie Bell catch from 2 days ago. He had a catch, a really nice jumping catch. I posted that video on Twitter that you could see about a week ago. So when those opportunities have arisen to kind of make a play outside of your body with your arms or with your elevation, Ronnie Bell has made those plays. Danny Gray has not made as many of those plays, but has made some of those plays too. So, those are obviously the two guys. I saw Deshaun Jameson maybe as a punt returner option, the undrafted rookie out of Texas who's made some plays on defense. And so an opportunity for him as well. Troy Polamalu in the C Gap says Tay Martin will make the roster now. Yeah, I mean, my group of receivers battling for that 6th spot, Ronnie, not my group, the group, as if I'm the only one that came up with it, but Ronnie, Chris Conley, Tay Martin, Willie Snead is another guy who can return and can make an impact there. So, he's getting up. He's going to get an opportunity too. Drake Greenlaw did not practice for the Niners. I'm not in Vegas, but Drake Greenlaw did not practice, hamstring. Drake Greenlaw did not practice, hamstring. George Kittle did not practice, adductor. Luckily we've got a fair amount of time here before the season starts that I'm not going to get too concerned about those injuries, especially at the start of a joint practice. There's a level of precaution you want to take there. But the Ray Ray broken wrist is significant because we know that means he's out for a period of time. And, it's a position where they had where there's not a lot to go around, but the slice that Ray Ray got is a very valuable slice. And so that's a significant injury. Is it Danny Gray season now? We'll see. Rum Ham 1265. No need for the clickbait title. LOL. What's a better title? Tell me there's a difference between clickbait and just here's what happened. Watch this video. Clickbait title. What would clickbait title be? I always love when I get the alert that says team signs former 1st round pick. Big news, whatever. And it's like some guy who was 9 years ago a 1st round pick. So there you go. Just looking at some of your comments here. Yeah, I haven't had time to dive too far into some of the practice reports because this is just after Kyle's press conference. But Tyler says, this is why we struggle at the beginning of our seasons because we're so dependent on these starters like Kittle being hurt. I was thinking for Ray Ray, this is a guy that, who are they going to play week 1? The Steelers. He probably really wants to play in that game. Runaway Turtle says Deshaun Jameson, the best punt returner on the roster. He's going to get the chance to show. I mean, is there a blessing in disguise here? Ray Ray McLeod's not going to be on this team next year. You are going to need another returner. Do you have him? Do you have him on this roster now? The next guy up? Maybe. Every team is dependent on their starters. Welcome to the NFL. It's a great point. I mean, your best players, if they get hurt, this is why, Christian McCaffrey plus Debo, maybe one is a safety net for the other. Carlos says Trey Lance is easily QB2. Darnold is a bum. He is not easily QB2. Maybe some people think he's easily, but in Kyle Shanahan's world, there's a competition going on. Vincent says, just put a guy back there who will not fumble, don't need giant returns, aren't necessary. Yeah, it's Ray Ray could be a little loose with the football sometimes. But he's also had some major returns. Deshaun Jameson. Latu keeps dropping passes, making Lance look like shit. Hey, when I grade, I wasn't there today. I couldn't grade today and tomorrow, but I'll be there next week. When I grade, drop pass doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you dropped it. But yeah, Latu probably needs to step up a little bit. He is, did I have him for a drop pass the other day? 17 had a drop. Snead one off his hands. I got to go back through this because there were several drops. I had Trey missing Latu the other day in practice. I had Conley dropping a Trey pass. I thought Latu dropped a Purdy pass in practice the other day. Just FYI. Did he drop one today? Horse-blooded. The reason the trainer was examining both wrists was to observe the bone structure of the individual without the anatomy change. They will compare to the injured wrist to see deformities. That's a great explanation. Here's my ignorance. I'm sitting next to Matt Barrows, and it was during like a break in practice. Barrows says, "Look what's going on here." I said, "Yes, I am. I am looking at what's going on here, Matt." And then when they went to the other wrist, that's when I ignorantly said, "Oh, maybe he's getting his fingers stretched." The reason I thought that, well, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. Carlos going off Grant's analysis. Of course you can take it serious. He's there watching. So it's all good. Kyle said Latu draft the TD pass from Lance. Okay. Well, guess what? Lance doesn't get downgraded for a wide open pass that Latu drops or whatever, a great throw that Latu drops. So no one's holding that against Trey Lance. The only people who would hold that against Trey Lance are people who only go off of completions and incompletions, and nobody with a brain's doing that. So we're fine. Isn't his first name Cameron? What did I call him? His first name is Cameron. Did I call him something else? Trox says that Ray was a good return man, but couldn't get into the end zone. Would be exciting for someone to step up who can find the end zone. On punt returns? I mean, yeah, it'd be great, I guess, but all I'm looking for is good field position, the positive field position battle, and not turning the ball over is what directly correlates to win. So good field position, clock control, run the ball. I'm with you. You'd love some explosives, but I heard the kid used to be a D end. He did. They need to let Ayuk cook and do kickoff, and Debo should do punt returns. I mean, in the Super Bowl or whatever, I'd be more inclined. I don't love a full season of those guys doing that stuff, and I would avoid it. I mean, I would love to see it, but I don't think you need to do it. But anyway. He disagrees. Yeah, I am of this mindset because, again, my philosophy on those returns is I'm not looking for touchdowns. I'm looking for good field position and protecting the football. That is what the studies show. The positive field position battle and no turnovers, that correlates to wins. So anyway, look, they got some guys on this roster. I don't think they're going to rush to free agency to fill this spot. 8 weeks. Luckily, it happened early enough that maybe you can get them back by week 4. And you want to see Ronnie Bell. You want to see Jameson. Willie Snead, by the way, does catch a lot of balls in practice. Should he find a way to be the best returner of the group? And you wonder, can he help them out in the offense? Lance seems to like throwing him the football. So there's the news. More stuff will come out of the joint practice Thursday. I think I'm going to do a what to watch for this weekend in the games video at some point, maybe today, maybe Friday. We have is Jake Moody him? Is Jake Moody worth the hype? I think this will be one of the things to watch for. No news is good news when it comes to rookie kickers. Jake Moody's leg is more than strong enough. He's banging 60-yarders in practice. As I've said many times, you can only kick one direction on the 49ers practice field. And those kicks they tend to come with a tailwind or at least a tail breeze, a little bit of a right to left cross breeze sometimes on his kicks, but mostly a little bit of a tail. Is he going to be making 60-yarders in Levi's? Is he going to be making 60-yarders in Pittsburgh? I don't know. But the leg is plenty strong. What I think would be really important for him, this is one of my things to watch through the entire preseason. Like I said, no news is good news. Don't miss a 28-yarder. Don't miss a 35-yarder. Don't badly hook something. You want to bang an upright once, fine. Don't miss extra points. I think all of that would be good news for him. Maybe you can get a 70-yarder. Yeah, I mean, he's got the leg. And yeah, I like Tay Martin. I saw him a lot in the Pac-12 when he was at Washington State. They really loved him. High-level guy. When Washington State's when it looked like the Pac-12 was not going to play football that year, Washington State, Nick Rolovich was the coach. He called up Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State and said, look, we're not going to play. We've got a guy that's trying to go to the league. He's got a young child. He wants to get to the NFL, support that child. You should take him. And Oklahoma State took him. He didn't leave Washington State because he wasn't getting the ball or because of bad relationships or anything like that. He was really good. They helped him find a spot because they liked him so much. And he's made some plays in camp for the 49ers. So, I'm a pro Tay Martin guy. That competition for that 6th spot was a little crowded. It's a little less crowded now, but as I said at the beginning, it's not just the competition, more opportunities. Jair Brown's also going to be on my list of what to watch for. I think a physical safety, does less in a practice than he can do in games. He made the interception the other day on the Darnold ball, which was actually the play that he made the pick on the play that Ray Ray got hurt, as it turns out. And it was a really nice play. It was a Hufanga type. Safety comes running over, takes away that sideline deep ball from Darnold. So I think he's looked good in the little bit that he's had chances to make plays, but I think games are going to be big for him. It's a good deep safety room with Gibson and Hufanga and Odom. So I think preseason games will be particularly important for Jair Brown. And I can't wait to see. So I'll have maybe a video today or tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on those other injuries because those are important too. All right, everybody. Thanks for the quick hang. Get on with your Thursday, your Friday, whenever you're watching this. Later.